Welcome to MarcEDU tutorials. In this tutorial, we will be showing you how to create a 3D content for MarcEDU. Open Unity from the desktop or from your Start menu. Once it is fully loaded, create a new project by clicking on New. Enter a project name. For this tutorial, we will call it Tutorial 1. After Unity has fully loaded, go to File, Build Settings. This will allow us to choose a device which we want our 3D content to work on. You may select either iOS or Android depending on which device you have. For this tutorial, we are going to choose iOS. Click on Switch Platform and you can close this window by clicking on the red X. Before we continue the next step, make sure you have the following file, Unity 3D script.cs in your desktop or downloads folder. You can download it from the MarcEDU website. Extract it from the zip folder after the download. Under the project window, you will see that there is nothing in the asset folder. We are going to put the Unity 3D script.cs into the asset folder. Right-click in the empty space and select Import New Asset. Locate the file and click on Import. Alternatively, you can just drag it from the download folder into the asset folder directly as shown. Create a new folder by selecting Create on the project window, or you can right-click and select Create Folder. Rename the folder as Asset Bundle. Make sure you spell it exactly as shown with the A and B in caps. Now, if you right-click on the empty space in the project window, you will see that there are two options at the bottom. Build Asset Bundles iOS and Build Asset Bundles Android. The script that we imported edited Unity's interface to include these two new options. Selecting either option exports files into the folder that we created. Do not click on them yet. This will be done in the later part of the tutorial. In this next step, we will be showing you how to put 3D contents into Unity. Under the Hierarchy window, click on Create, 3D Object, Plane. Or you can get the same options by right-clicking in the Hierarchy window. With the plane selected, observe the Inspector window. Under Transform, check that the position is at 0, 0, 0, which is the origin of the 3D world. Under Scale, change the values to 400, 400, 400. The current size and position of the plane will now be used as the reference for our 3D contents. Depending on your computer screen size, you may have to use the mouse scroll wheel to zoom out so that the plane is not covering up the whole scene. Now let's create our first 3D object to be shown on the MarcEDU app. Create a 3D cube. Always make sure that your 3D object starts in the origin by resetting the position values to 0, 0, 0 first. Scale up the cube to 2005, 2005, 2005 and change the position value to 0, 1350, 0. This will shift the cube up until it is slightly above the plane. We do not want our object to be too far away from the origin. In the Hierarchy window, make sure none of the names are being selected. Click on Create Empty. This will be used as a master to contain contents that we want to export to the MarcEDU app. With the empty game object selected, check that the position is at the origin. If not, reset the values. If this empty game object is not in the origin after the export, your 3D contents may not appear properly in the app. With that done, we can now proceed to the exporting procedure. In the hierarchy window, drag cube into game object. The cube is now a child of game object. Any values changed in the transform component of game object will amplify the values in the cube transform component. For example, game object scale changes to 2, 2, 2. The final appearance of the cube will be 5000, 5000, 5000 as the parent's value is multiplied to the value of the child. Drag game object into the assets folders to create a prefab. A prefab is a template which stores multiple things to be reused again in other parts of the scene. In our case, this template will be storing our 3D contents which we want to export. With game object selected in the asset folder, look at the bottom right corner of the inspector tab, which shows asset bundle none, none. The first none will be the file name for your exported template. The second none will be the extension name. For the first one, type in cube_iOS and press enter. Type Unity 3D for the second one and press enter. Make sure you press enter after typing in each name in order for it to register. With the names entered, right-click on the game object in the asset folder and select Build Asset Bundles iOS. It will create a file cube_iOS.unity3d into the asset bundle folder we created. With the game object still selected, change the name cube_iOS into cube_Android. This time, right-click on the game object and select Build Asset Bundles Android. It may take slightly longer to create the file, as it is changing the build from iOS to Android. After exporting both files, you can go into the Asset Bundle folder. You will now see a few files inside. Keep a lookout for cube_iOS.unity3d and cube_android.unity3d. These are the two files which will be uploaded into the MarcEDU website to show on the app. That's the end of this tutorial, and we'll see you next time.